This conference will now be recorded.
So in the last class, we have discussed about operators and scanner class. The main need of going with scanner class is to accept the user input. Whenever we want to accept some data from user during program execution, we make use of scanner class. So in today's class also, we'll be seeing the examples on scanner class. Now, today let us move to the next topic here, control statements. Control statements. Now, up to now, what are the programs we have taken? Like student program or rectangle program or amount program, price program, every line of the code is getting executed. Now we want to execute this set of statements only when the condition is true. We want to execute some set of statements only when the condition is false. We want to execute some set of statements repeatedly for some number of times. Means we want to control the flow of execution of program. So whenever we want to control the flow of execution of program, we make use of this control statements. Now, so you can say these statements are used to control the flow of execution of program. We are in some types of control statements. They are if statement, or you can even say if else statement. Then switch statement, then while loop, do while loop, for loop, break and continue. Right? Now, today we'll be discussing about if statement and switch statement. Let us go with this if statement. We can even call it as if else statement. The use of if statement is, it is used to check a condition. It is for what? It is used to check a condition, and if the condition is true, it is going to execute some set of statements. If the condition is false, it is going to execute the statements present in else part. So what is the use of this if statement is? It is used to execute the set of statements when the condition is true. If the condition is false, it will execute the set of statements present in else part. Now, let me elaborate this using the syntax. The syntax of if statement is, we use the keyword if is a keyword, and we check a condition. Open and close curly braces means where it begins and where it ends. And we go with the set of statements like statement 1, statement 2, like that, statement n. Then else, it's a keyword. Again we go with the set of statements like statement 1, statement 2, like that, statement n. Now, in this, when this condition is true, these set of statements will get executed. When this condition is false, these set of statements will get executed under else part. Then this curly brace represents scope or block. Whenever we use this curly brace, it represents the scope, or even we call it as block, means where it begins and where it ends. For this if, this is the beginning of if and this is the end of if. For else, this is the beginning of else and this is the end of else. So which part of code is under if, which part of code under else, that we represent using curly braces, which we call it as scope or block. We are having some points on if statement. For if, else is optional. So when we go with if, when we write here if condition, should we go with else here compulsory? Syntactically no. So for if, else is optional. But for else, if is mandatory, compulsory. So without if, we cannot write else. So there should be period if when you are going with else. So for else, if is mandatory, compulsory. Okay. If curly braces are not used. So if you are not using this curly braces, if curly braces are not used, then it considers only one statement. If curly braces are not used, then it is going to consider what? Only one statement. Means for one statement, using curly brace is optional. So if you are having only one statement, using this curly brace is what? Optional. Now, let us understand with an example. If you go with the two numbers like n1 equal to 10, n2 equal to 5. Out of these two numbers, we want to know which is big. So we have to compare like this. If the value of n1 greater than n2, if the value of n1 is greater than n2, then we are going to print in SPOP big equal to the value of n1. Else means if the condition is false, so we'll say big equal to the value of n2. And since there is only one statement under if or else, using curly brace is optional. For this example, what will be the result? The output will be, since the condition is true, 10 greater than 5, true condition, it will come to this statement, then it's going to print big equal to the value of n1, which is 10. If you take the same example, if you make n2 as 15, 10 greater than 15 false, the condition is false, comes to else part and says big equal to the value of n2, which is what? 15. So condition true means the statements under if, condition false means the statements under else part. Clear with this if condition, all of you? Any questions? No. Let us go with some example programs on if. Write a program to check whether the given number is even or odd. So what are the number we are accepting from user? We have to check whether that number is even or odd. When can we say a number is even? When can we say a number is even? If it is divisible by 2, right? When you take the number and if you divide the number by 2, if the remainder is 0, then we say even, like 2, 4, 6, 8, all these are even numbers. Else we say odd, means if the number is divisible by 2, when you divide the number by 2, if the remainder is not 0, then we say odd number, like 1, 3, 5, 7, these are odd numbers. Let us go with the code. Even, odd, dot java. So we have to write the code. Eclipse, open Eclipse. Then choose the workspace. We are working in 2024 Java Online 11 Java programs. Say launch. So from the next class, I'll make this Eclipse opened before the class. Now close these files, right click and say close all. So whenever you want to create a new class, right click on project and say new class here. Then go with the name, even, odd. with main method inside. Now say finish. Now create object of scanner class. Scanner is equal to new scanner. Connect to keyboard system.in. Now we are getting error. So what we have to do, we have to go with input. So just keep mouse pointer on this error and you can see the option import scanner. Just if you click here, the respective input will happen automatically. Now accept a number, go with a message, enter a number, we'll say int number equal to s dot next. Now after accepting this number, we have to check whether this number is divisible by 2 or not. How to check? If the number mod 2, when you divide with 2, if the remainder is 0, then we'll go with the message number is even. We'll go with the message number is even. Else, we'll go with the message number is odd. Now, when we run this code, it will ask for the number. We'll say something like 6. So 6 will come and store into this number. 6 mod 2. When you divide 6 with 2, what is the remainder? 0. Then it will going to give the message 6 is even. See here, it's going to display the message 6 is even. If you run the code, if you go with the number like 9 mod 2, when you divide 9 with 2, remainder is not 0. So it is not equal to 0. So the condition is false, comes to else part and says 9 is odd here. So it's going to display 9 is odd. Clear this code? Any questions?
No.
Yeah. Right. Now, let us move to the next concept here. Nested if. So what is this nested if is? If within if is called as nested if. If within if is called as what? Nested if. No. So when you want to check more number of conditions, we go with nested if. So how to go with this nested if? The syntax is, we use a keyword if and we check a condition. Let me go with the number to elaborate to see. If condition 1, if this condition 1 is true, if the condition 1 is true, we execute some set of statements. If the condition 1 is false, we come to else part. Again else is a keyword. Once we come to else part, again we want to check one more condition. Again we use if condition 2. If condition 2 is true, we execute some set of statements. If condition 2 is true, we execute some set of statements. Again else means if the condition 2 is false, again we come to else and again we check one more condition. If condition 3. If condition 3 is true, we execute some set of statements. Like that we'll be keep on going. How many conditions we want to check, you can check. Again else. If condition n. If condition n is true, we execute some set of statements. Else, we go with some set of statements. So let me elaborate this. So here it will check condition 1. If condition 1 is true, these statements will get executed. If condition 1 is false, comes to else part and checks one more condition. If condition 2 is true, these statements will execute, else it will check condition 3. Like that moves on. And if condition n is true, these statements will execute. Then if all conditions are false, if all these false, it will come to the statements present in last else. So when it is going to execute statements of last else when all conditions are false here. Now let us understand this with some examples. Write a program to check whether the given number is positive or negative or 0. To check whether the given number is positive, negative or 0. So when can we say a number is positive?
When it is greater than 0.
When the number is greater than 0, we say it is positive, right? Then if the number is less than 0, negative. If it is not positive and not negative, directly we will say 0. Without comparing, we can say 0. Now, let us go with the code. Check number dot java. Now, right click on project and say new class check number with main method inside. Now, create object of scanner, connect to keyboard. Now we are having keyboard shortcut to import the packages, that is Ctrl+Shift+O. Ctrl+Shift+O will import the respective packages. Shortcut to import the packages. What is that? Ctrl+Shift+O. Now go with the message, enter a number, we'll say int number equal to s.next int. Now we have to check whether this number is greater than 0. How to check? If the given number is greater than 0, we'll go with the message number is positive. Else. Can we say negative directly? No, because it may be 0 also. So that's the reason. Again, we have to check the condition. Else, if number less than 0, we'll go with the message number is negative. Else means not positive, not negative. Then directly without comparing, we'll say number is 0. Right? Now see when we run, if I go with the number like 15 greater than 0, this condition is true. So we get 15 is positive. See the message? 15 is positive. If we run the code again, if I go with the number minus 15, then minus 15 greater than 0, no, comes to else part. Minus 15 less than 0, yes, then it's going to say minus 15 is negative. Right? If you run the code, if I go with the number as 0, first condition is false, second is also false, comes to last one and says number is 0. So 0 is 0, like this. So when you want to check more number of conditions, we make use of nested if. Clear with this code? Now, one more example. Write a program to check or to find the biggest of given 3 numbers. We'll find what? Biggest of given 3 numbers. If you take 3 numbers like number 1, number 2 and number 3, when can we say n1 is big? What should be the condition? When can we say n1 is big? What is the condition? If number 1 greater than number 2 and if this number 1 greater than number 3. So when this number is greater than other two numbers, then we say n1 is big. When can we say n2 is big? Same rule. If n2 greater than n1 as well as n2 greater than n3, we say n2 is big. Then when can we say n3 is big? If these two numbers are not big. If you know that these two numbers are not big, then directly we'll say n3 is big here. Let's write the code. Big 3. Right click on project and say new class. Big 3 with main method. No. Create object of scanner. System.in. Now let us see one more way of importing scanner. Now directly go with the message. Enter 3 numbers. Enter 3 numbers. We'll say int number 1 equal to. See the way of importing by using scanner class object. If you call the method nextInt here, s dot nextInt. Once we choose this nextInt, press enter key. See the respective import is happening automatically. This is not only for scanner class. Any class you take, by using object of the class, if you call the methods using dot operator, the respective imports will happen automatically. Okay. Accept 3 numbers. Number 2 equal to s dot nextInt. Number 3 equal to s dot nextInt. So we have accepted 3 numbers. Now start comparing. If the value of number 1 greater than number 2. If the value of number 1 greater than number 2, and how to join conditions? Logical and if the value of number 1 greater than number 3. If number 1 greater than number 2 and even greater than number 3, we'll go with the message number 1 is big, or you can say big equal to the value of number 1. Then else. Coming to else indicates number 1 is not big. Coming to else indicates number 1 is what? Not big. Then we are left out with what? 2 numbers, number 2 and number 3. So compare just this one. If number 2 greater than number 3, you need not compare number 2 with number 1. Even if you compare, it's not a mistake, but not required, because coming to else indicates number 1 is not big. Then we are just comparing number 2 with number 3. Then go with the message big equal to the value of number 2. Else indicates number 1 is not big, number 2 is also not big. Then we'll directly write without comparing big equal to the value of number 3. Right? That's it. Now so when we run, if you go with any 3 numbers, it's going to pull out the biggest value. Clear this code, all of you? Any questions? No. Let us move to the next topic today, switch statement. The use of switch statement is, it is used to choose an option among the given set of options. Like example, when we go to ATM machine, you can see some options like withdraw, pin change, mini statement, balance inquiry, like that. Out of that options, how many options we can choose at one time? Only one option. So among given set of options, when you want to go with only one option, we go with switch statement. You can say it is used to choose an option among the given set of options. It is mainly used for menu driven applications. It is mainly used for what type of applications? Menu driven applications. The syntax is we use a keyword switch and we go with an expression. We use switch and we go with an expression. Now here we check. We use a keyword case option 1, meaning if the value of expression is matching with this option 1, then we'll execute the statements present in option 1. Once we execute the statements present in option 1, if you don't want to go to other option statements, we go with the break. So the use of break is to come out of switch here. What is the use of break? To come out of switch. Case option 2. Case option 2. Statements under option 2 break. Case option 3. Statements under option 3 break. Like that we can have case option n. Statements under option n break. Wearing one more keyword default. Default statements under default. Now, understand here? I'm repeating. So when this expression matches with option 1, these statements will execute, and once the statements of option 1 is executed, to come out of switch we use break. If expression is matching with option 3, it is going to execute statements of option 3, comes out using break. If expression is matching with option n, it is going to execute the statements of option n, comes out using break. If expression is not matching with any one of the options, then it will execute the statements present in default. Now, let us suppose if there is no break here. If no break. And let us suppose expression is matching with option 1. If expression is matching with option 1, it will execute the statements of option 1. Since no break, it will even go to statements of option 2. Since no break, it will even go to statements of option 3. And when it hits break, comes out. Meaning, if no break, it will just go to the statements of other options until it says break. Let me document. Points on if statement. Sorry, switch statement. If expression is not matching with any one of the options, then it will execute the statements present in default. It will execute the statements present in default. Should we write default compulsory? Means no, optional. Default is optional. Syntactically it is optional. Should we write default only at the last, or can we write anywhere in between the cases? Like this. Can we write anywhere in between the cases? Yes, it is, no problem. So nothing rule that default should be only at the last. It can be anywhere in between the cases. Okay, generally we write at the last. So remember, default can be anywhere in between the cases. So check it today. Then, what is the use of break? Break is used to come out of switch. If break is not used, then it will execute the statements present in other options until break. If no break, what will happen? It will just go to the statements of other options until it says break. Then, very important point. Expression. What is the meaning of expression? This one. What you pass to switch? This expression. Expression should be of type integer. Expression should be of what type? Integer. We can even pass byte, short, char also, because implicit casting. Because of implicit casting, these three data types can be converted into integer. From Java 7 version, expression can be of type string. From Java 7, this expression can be even what type? String type. Like example, if you take a string OS equal to something like Windows. So string OS equal to Windows. Now you check here, switch off OS. Switch off OS, case Windows. So we'll go with the message in SOP Windows. Some message, it's up to you. Case Linux. In SOP will print Linux. Case Mac. In SOP will print Mac. Okay, so this is possible from Java 7 version only. This expression can be of type string from Java 7 version. Clear with this switch, all of you? Any questions? No. Let us go with an example code. Write a program to accept two numbers and display the following options. Means menu. The options are like 1, add, 2, subtract, 3, multiply, 4, divide. Now, display result based on the user choice. Display result based on user choice. Now, like example, if you take two numbers, n1 equal to 10, n2 equal to 5, and if my choice is 1, then what is the value of result here? Here, two numbers are 10 and 5. My choice is 1. So what I want to do, I want to add the numbers. Then the value of result is 15. If you take two numbers like 10 and 5, and if my choice is 3, 3 means what? Multiply. So we should multiply these two numbers. Then the value of result is 50. If you take two numbers like 10 and 5, and if my choice is something like 7, so 7, there is no option 7, then we have to display message invalid choice. Invalid choice. Right? A simple calculator application. Let us go with the code. Calculator.java. Right click on project and say new class calculator. Create object of scanner class. Go with the message. Enter two numbers. We'll say int n1 equal to s dot next int. Int equal to s dot next int. After accepting the numbers, now display the menu to the user. Without displaying menu, user won't have idea what option to choose. So we have to display menu to the user. How to display menu? Go with the message. 1 means add, 2 subtract, 3 multiply 4 divide. Go with the message. Enter your choice. Enter your choice. We'll store that choice value into ch variable. So you may enter 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or any other number that will come and store into ch variable. Now check here. Switch off ch. Switch off ch. Case 1. What case 1 indicates? Addition. So means I should add these two numbers. So we'll take a variable result equal to n1 plus n2. So we are using a variable result. So declare it int result. So if the result equal to what? N1 plus n2. We are adding two numbers. So once we add the numbers, we don't want to go to other options. So we'll say break. Case 2. Case 2 means subtract. So result equal to n1 minus n2. Case 3. Result equal to n1 into n2. Case 4. n1 by n2. Then default. Default means if all other options are false, then it will go to default and we'll go with the message invalid choice. Once we come out of switch, now display the value of result. Go with the message result equal to the value of result. Now see, we are getting error here. Under result variable, we are getting error because if I go with the choice as some 7, these cases will not get executed. If the choice is 7, these cases will not execute. Then once it comes out of switch, what value of result it has to display. So since there is no value to this variable, it cannot display, and since it is local variable, if no value to local variable, it will go with what? Error. See the message? The local variable result may not have been initialized. We have to initialize the local variable before using. So we are initializing with what? 0 here. Now run this program. Go with any two numbers. The menu will come. If I say 1, it is going to display result as 15. If you run the code again, if you take two numbers like 10 and 5, and if you say 3, it is going to display result as 15. If you take two numbers like 10 and 5, and if you say 4, the result is what? 10 by 5, 2. If you run the code again, if you take two numbers 10 and 5, and if my option is 7, it says invalid choice. And once it displays invalid choice, it is even displaying result also. So once we display invalid choice, I don't want to display this result message. We don't want to come to this statement. So once we display invalid choice, if I don't want to go to remaining piece of code in Java, we are having a method exit present in system class. We are having a method exit present in system class. This exit method of system class is used to come out of program. So the exit method can take any integer value, positive or negative. So what is the use of this method exit of system class? It is used to come out of application program. Now, so when we run, so it's 10 and 5, and if my option is 7, we get message only invalid choice. Clear this code, all of you? Now, if I take two numbers like 10 and 5, my two numbers are 10 and 5, and my option is 1. The case is 1, but there is no break here. But no break. Then, what is the output of this program now? What is the value of result it is going to display now? See the code? When you run 10 and 5, If my option is even 1, see the result value 2. It is saying 2 here. Let me elaborate why we are getting 2. If you take this result variable, initial value of result is what? 0. Initial value of result is 0. Our two numbers are 10 and 5 and choice is 1. So comes to case 1. So when it comes to case 1, result equal to n1 plus n2. So the value of result will become 15. Since no break, it will go to case 2 also. It will go to statements of case 2. The value of result will become 10 minus 5, 5. Since no break, it will come to case 3 statements. The value of result will become 10 into 5, 50. Since no break, it will come to case 4 statements. The value of result will become 10 by 5. And when it says break comes out, and it's going to display the result value as what here? 2 here. So if no break, what is going to happen? It will just go to the statements of other options until it says break. Clear with this code? Any questions? So we'll go with one more good example and related to switch in loops also. One more realistic application we develop using switch statement and that we discuss in loops. Coming to assignment. Write a program to check whether the given age is major or minor. So when can we say major? If the given age is greater than or equal to 18, we'll say major, else minor. Okay. One more condition here. If the given age is less than 0, means negative value, then display invalid age. If you go with a negative value, then we have to display the message invalid age. Write a program to find biggest of given 3 numbers using conditional operator. I have shown how to find biggest of 3 numbers using if. Same code you should write with conditional operator. That is question mark. Write a program to accept item number, item name, rate and quantity. Find amount. What's the formula? Rate into quantity will give the amount. So same task yesterday I have given, but we are going to expand. Now calculate discount as follows. How to calculate discount is if the given amount is greater than 1000, if the given amount is greater than or equal to 1000 and less than 2000, discount is 10% on amount. Then, how to write this code programmatically? In the program, how to write? If amount greater than or equal to 1000 and means this symbol, and if the amount less than 2000, then discount is 10%, means 10 by 100. 10 by 100 means 0.10. 0.10 into amount. So this is the way we should write in the program syntactically to find discount. If the amount is greater than or equal to 2000 and less than 3000, then discount is 15% on amount. If amount greater than or equal to 3000 and less than 5000, then discount is 20% on amount. If amount is greater than or equal to 5,000. After 5,000, whatever it may be, the maximum discount is 25%. Then calculate net amount. What's the formula? Amount minus discount will give net amount. Display item number, item name, amount, discount, and net amount. Write a program to check whether the given character is oval or consonant. So what is the character we are accepting? We have to check whether it is oval or consonant. So for this, make use of switch. Clear? Clear all of you the task? Shall we attach sending this document? In the document you can find the assignments. Right? Then in tomorrow's class, we'll go with the next topic of basics, that is loops. So tomorrow we discuss while loop and do while loop, and day after tomorrow we go with for loop. Break and continue. So next 2 classes we complete our basics part. Then next week we'll start off with the new topic arrays, and we go with object oriented. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Raj, one question.
Yes, please.
What would be the syntax for the conditional operator?
Syntax of conditional operator, yesterday we have seen, no? We check a condition, then if condition is true, question mark, expression 1, colon, expression 2. Right? Do you remember? So when this condition is true,
Yes.
it will come to expression 1. If the condition is false, it will come to expression 2.
Okay.
Hope you remember. Yesterday we discussed that.
Yes, I did.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you all.